everyone, so today we're going to go over how to put together a fairy wing kit if you get it from me, and how to cover it and make it look pretty once you've put it together. First things first, we're going to go ahead and take our back brace piece. This piece that has the two large holes in it, that is the servo mounting plate. And we're going to take this second plate with all the little holes in it, which is where we're going to mount the battery and the circuit board. And we are going to put those three pieces together. Here I am showing a strapped brace. This is not for use with a corset. And when you're wearing straps, the back braces tend to sit quite a bit higher on the back than they do if they're in a corset. So as you can see, I'm going to mount this so that basically the plate, when screwed on, drops, comes out, and then has this little tongue at the end. You'll see what that's for later. It's basically to secure the servos down, but that piece should always be pointed down. So if you're confused as to which way to mount the servo plate, always point that little tongue downwards. And so on this one, it is a strapped brace, and so the other side, the mounting plate that touches the back plate, is going to come up from the rest of the plate, and then it's the opposite. That piece will go down on a corset brace so that those servos ride a little bit higher and get raised a little bit higher from your corset, which will make everything ride just a little bit lower. And it's only like an inch of difference that you're getting this way, but it's the difference of the wings looking like they're coming out of your neck versus coming out of your back. Also somewhat counterintuitive, you'll notice that I am using some pan head bolts to secure these on, and usually I would try and keep a back brace as smooth on the back as possible, and I would put the pan head on where it touches your back. The opposite is true for these because of how close we're trying to keep the wings to the back so we don't have a hunchback. And because of that, I actually put the pan head on the exterior, and the nylock bolt is going to be touching your back. These are so lightweight, honestly, you're not going to feel them, unlike some of the larger sets that I make where you might feel them because it's so heavy. These ones are so lightweight, it won't matter. Next, just like the other back braces that I make, I'm going to cover the back with a 90s spray glue and glue this back piece to a 1/4 inch piece of upholstery foam, just so we have a little bit of cushion. For strap sets, this is technically unnecessary. I like it because I don't like to ever have a hard plate on my back, but these are so lightweight, honestly, you're not going to be running into it chafing as much as, say, a 12-foot set of wings. However, for the corseted sets, I absolutely recommend it because even though it's lightweight, it is, because of the corset, going to be pressing into your back. And it would be better to have foam pressing into your back than a piece of metal. Once that foam is on there, we're going to go ahead and make a cover for just this back piece. This is not the cover that is going to be decorative and go over the servos. This piece serves to basically hold down that decorative piece, and should that decorative piece come loose or anything, it just makes everything cleaner underneath and softer so that you're not covering everything in felt. The way we're going to do this is we're basically just going to trace an outline of the back brace you know, like you would a pillow, except for it's not a square. And we're going to go ahead and cut that out of a stretchy spandex material. Next, we're going to go ahead and on one of those pieces, we're going to put a piece of Velcro, one side of Velcro. I put a bunch of little slits in it so that it curves more naturally, though you will end up getting buckle no matter what you do, honestly. And I'm just going to go ahead and sew this piece to the bottom edge of this cover. Next, just like with a pillow or with the other back braces that I make, we're basically just going to make a little pillow. We're going to sew the two sides together, obviously good sides together, and we're going to end with the Velcro on the inside, and I'll show you later. We're going to make a slit and turn this baby inside out. So we're actually going to be sewing all the way around, leaving no open side or anything like that. So now we are going to cut our cover with two slits right where we have our mounting plates, turn it inside out, and pull that cover over the back brace. Next, I put on some plumber's tape, also known as galvanized hanger wire or hanger strap. I save this until I actually mount the actuators. Because if you're not careful, this can actually cut you. So while you're manipulating things, it can be a pain in the butt. After placing the servers onto the mount, I lock it down using the middle mounting plate bolt and then that tongue. And I use a number 6 bolt and nylock nut to tighten that down. And I use a rather long bolt to aid in getting things aligned and leverage down. But you can also change the angle of the tongue as needed. Now what I'm going to do is make the felt cover for this plate. And so this configuration you see me cutting out is basically those slits at the bottom are just at where it starts to curve, and then these slips at the top are basically being cut off where the servos are going to sit on the servo mounting plate. And so you have this one little piece at the top that has this really kind of odd configuration. Instead of what normally would happen around the main cover that goes over the plate, this decorative cover that's going to kind of cover up all the servos and the batteries is a little different because it has to go around everything instead of behind it. And so, like the other one, we just kind of did the silhouette and we were done. But with this one, that configuration where we, you know, cut, that's like basically the back piece and then all the sides. And then this piece is going to be sewn to it so that we're creating the front panel and flap that's going to cover the other side. So hopefully you can see with the different colors how this basically goes together as I sew it. It'll make a bit more sense when it's on too. But basically the light green back piece is also the sides of the cover, while the dark green only covers the very back and curves around with the light green to form an extended pouch to fit around the servos and the battery. So next I'll do a test fit and put the cover on the brace to make sure things are not too tight. Also go ahead and check and see where I need to cut off any excess material to fit the curve of the base of the brace. And then last but not least, I will sew on the opposite Velcro strip to the cover so that while this is being worn, the cover will stay firmly in place. Next, I'm going to cut slits in the back brace cover and the servo and battery cover to make way for my looped straps. These are made the same exact way as my other back braces, so just a simple loop on one end so you can pull your straps in and around and through. Unfortunately, not shown is me making the boxes for the battery and electronics. These are essentially made of Warbler and abandoned control board boxes, but honestly, as long as your electronics are enclosed, there's no loose wires flailing about ready to touch metal bits, you should be fine. I even once used like a modified jewelry box. Almost anything that you can like open and close just in case you need to troubleshoot is great. Make sure all of that is tucked away before moving on to the next step. And now we get to the fun part. Get a bunch of flowers in the colors of your choice. And we're going to go ahead and cover this. Before you get started, you're going to want to basically cut away the fabric around your servo horns, or rather where the servo horns will attach. And then you're going to make sure that like you put a flower so that it covers over it, but not like glued to it. Basically, you want to have a petal or petals going over the servo horns, but you want to leave basically that arc where the servo horns are going to be flapping the wings relatively flat and clear. So don't put big bulky flowers on the outside edges where the wings are going to be moving, because then they're going to be hitting the flowers all the time, which I don't know that'll necessarily hurt anything. It'll just make a lot of noise and maybe gum up the works. But yeah, have fun. Get creative. Next, we are going to use the servo horn and mount to mount our wings. The holes I include in my pattern should line up with the holes in the servo horn mounts from my kits, so that everything lines up when assembled on the back brace. Using number 4 bolts just align the holes and bolt the wings together. Next, we're going to decorate these as well. We're just trying to cover up the base here. We kind of want to cover up the servo horn, but we don't really actually want to glue anything to the servo horn itself. Just gluing to the wing where the bolts are. We're going to put on a few feathers and try and get those petals to kind of overlay the servo horn a bit so that everything's covered when we put everything together. Alright, and then the last thing to do is to just bolt those wings onto your servos. Each one is held in with just one bolt. Super easy to just fit those on and then go to town. And this is what they look like when they're done. Hope that helps you guys put these kits together if you guys are putting together a kit, or helps you understand how I make my wings. Talk to you guys later. Bye!